The following is a special presentation of CCN Sports, the community cable network.
We're here at Warrior Run High School for tonight's exciting dual meet between the defenders of Warrior Run, who are undefeated, 6-0. Their dual meet record, they will be facing the Ironmen of Danville, who come in with a dual meet record of 11-3-1. Tonight's wrestling match features the two best coaches in the area, Ron Kanaski for the Ironmen with 22 years, for the defenders, Wayne Smythe, 21 years. Both wrestling coaches outstanding. Tonight will mark the 28th time these two schools have met in wrestling action. The Ironmen are 14-13, and the defenders will be looking to knot up the score for tonight's match. We'll be back with the dual meet action after these announcements.
This part of tonight's presentation is being brought to you by Montour County Oil Company at 237 Rooney Avenue in Danville. 24-hour emergency service, open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon. Call us at 275-4555 for all your heating needs.
Pearl and Ivory, easy listening live music with a percussion and keyboard duo. Call for rates and dates at 742-8810 or 742-2185 and book now for your party or get-together.
The future is there. You cared enough to give them life. Now give them the gift of health. It's the law. Now your health insurance covers all your child's vaccinations.
I'm Ellen Casey. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Get the whole series. Boosters, too. See your doctor or go to an immunization clinic. Remember, every doctor's visit is a chance to vaccinate.
Keep a record of your child's vaccinations. It's your child's passport to a healthy life.
Welcome to CCN Sports for high school wrestling action. This dual meet features the Danville Ironmen visiting the defenders of Warrior Run. As the teams are being introduced and going out on the mat, we're at about 130 pounds as Matt Harrison coming out for the Ironmen and Todd Miller for the defenders. Going to 135, we're going to see Mark Lightsall versus Craig Netchie. Craig Nitchie will be going for his 100th career win tonight at 140 pounds. Mark Weeder, a junior with a 14-1 record for the Ironman against Andy Gemberling, also a junior, 9-1. At 145 pounds, Aaron Girth, he's a sophomore going against a freshman for the defenders, Todd Leidecker, 152 pounds. We're going to have Ryan Betts for the Ironman shaking hands with Joey Hill. Joey Hill, a senior, outstanding athlete for the defenders. At 160 pounds, Chris Coombs, the senior, is going to be shaking hands with Andy Kaiser or Brian Hunter. And now at 171 pounds, that's going to be Chris Cabler or Keith Milks, and he'll be wrestling either Andy Kaiser or Brian Hunter. At 189 pounds, Josh Leach stepping out for the defenders, shaking hands with senior Howie Weaver. At the heavyweight category, getting a handshake from Danville's coach Ron Kanaski. That's Aaron Layhouse shaking hands with the defenders Ken Hamp. Just about ready underway for high school wrestling action tonight between the Danville Ironmen and the defenders of Warrior Run. The official for tonight's match will be Mr. Tim Cook from Selinsgrove. The captains are out there. For the Ironmen, the captains are Chris Kabler, Mark Weeder, Keith Milks, and Chris Coombe for the defenders. Craig Nitchie out there, Joey Hill out there. Just about ready to get underway at 103 pounds. Going out in the mat for the Ironmen is going to be a freshman at 11-4. That's Art Geringer. His opponent, Chris Rapowicki, another freshman. As action underway between the Danville Ironmen, who come into this match 11-3-1 in the dual meet season. The defenders of Warrior Run undefeated, 6-0, as both wrestlers out in the middle of the match in period number 1, the first of 3 two-minute periods. Danville in their purple and orange uniform, the defenders in their blue and gray. Both wrestlers just sparring. No serious shots by either wrestler as they're feeling each other out here in the first bout. Now they're on the edge of the match. Out of bounds, says Tim Cook. Sends them back in as you see Artie Geringer on your left and Chris Rapowicki on the right. Now Geringer in on a single leg. Rapowicki sprawling back, working on the head. Now Rapowicki in on a single leg and Geringer sprawling, trying to go behind. 1 minute to go in period number 1 before a jam-packed house here in Warrior Run High School. And Rapowicki with the first 2 points. And he's got Geringer in trouble on the edge of the match. Artie Geringer down in trouble. Rapowicki applying pressure. 34 seconds to go in the first period. And there's the fall. The fall at 1 minute and 30 seconds of the first period. Chris Rapowicki gets his hand raised. He gets a handshake from Coach Wayne Smythe. And he gives the Warrior Run defenders a 6-0 lead after bout number 1. Moving out for match, the second match at 112 pounds. This ought to be a very impressive. Jason Betts, a sophomore, 8-0, the defending state champion. He's going against Danville's Errol Gray, a freshman. Betts right away in, trying to lock up a cradle. He has it. He's got Gray over on the far side of the mat. Betts wasting no time in a cradle. Tim Cook, the referee, looking down. 15 seconds have gone by in the first period as Errol Gray sprawling, and he's up on his elbows. Betts applying the pressure back in the cradle. Real good look there in our camera. Very close as Jason Betts went right to a cradle. Now the cradle is still there as Betts puts him over on his back one more time. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go in the first period. Jason Betts, undefeated this year. Very close as Tim Cook looking at it. We're 1 minute to go here in period number 1. And there's the fall. At 1 minute and 3 seconds of that first period. So 2 matches, 2 first period falls. That's an Jason Betts raises his record to 9-0, and that makes the team score Warrior Run 12, Danville nothing. So we've only wrestled 2 minutes and 33 seconds on the match, and already the defenders, who are undefeated this dual meet season, are out to a 12-0 lead. Moving to 119 pounds in what should be a very good match. Nathan Cook for Danville, a sophomore at 11-4. Another sophomore, Terry Strossner, who's in on a single leg. And it's no takedown yet, as Strausser went right in. Cook able to, so far, avoid being taken down on the far side of the match. They're almost out of bounds, but as you can see, Terry Strausser still in bounds. Out of bounds now as the knee touched the mat, and they're going to go back neutral with 1 minute 30 seconds to go. So Terry Strausser comes out flying for the defenders as well. He tried a single leg and Cook sprawled back and pressing the head with a crossface. Now Cook's in a good position here. With a crossface, Cook is closest to the camera here with about 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in the first period. Nathan Cook, a sophomore with 11-4 record. Stroessner 7-2 for the defenders. Stroessner with a takedown. A very nice recovery and counter move by Terry Stroessner. Now, Cook standing up, turning in, trying to get escape on the far side. And out of bounds. No change in control. 37 seconds to go as Terry Stroessner for the defender comes back in. There's Nathan Cook getting down into defensive position. Cook tries to stand up, but Stroessner counters with the tight waist ride. This match features two of the senior coaches in the high school wrestling in the region. Wayne Smythe for the defenders in his 21st year. And for the Ironman, Ron Kanaski, as the wrestlers go out of bounds with 15 seconds to go in period number 1. As Nathan Cook goes back into the center, he's trailing 2-0. The Ironman coach is the veteran with 22 years, Ron Kanaski. As Stroessner maintains control in the final few seconds in the first period, and we'll be going to period number 2. So, period number 1 is over with Terry Stroessner, a 2-0 leader over Danville's Nathan Cook at 119 pounds. Cook selected the top position to start the second period. As referee Tim Cook sets Terry Stroessner, now Nathan Cook sits on top. And Cook with a tight waist as Stroessner tries to sit out. Cook looking for a half Nelson. Nathan Cook with a tight waist and a half Nelson, applying pressure to the head. Now trying to chin back Terry Stroessner on the edge of the mat, looking for near fall point. Now Stroessner trying to get out of... And the referee looking close on the edge of the mat. He's going to say neutral, and he's going to give an escape to Terry Stroessner. 3-0 Stroessner ahead in period number 2. Now, Stroessner in on a single leg as the far side of the mat, real close to the edge, and they're out of bounds. 1:04 to go in period number 2 with both wrestlers now in the neutral position. Cook is going to have to be the aggressor and get some points back in the second period. Keep this match close. As the defenders jumped out to 2 quick first period falls to take a 12-0 lead. Now, Stroessner on a single leg, looking for a takedown. And there it is, right on this edge, out of bounds. A 5-0 lead for Stroessner. He has 2 takedowns and 1 escape as Cook goes in the bottom position. This match would be, on paper, pretty much a toss-up. You have 2 sophomores, Cook 11-4 and Stroessner 7-2. But Stroessner getting the better of it with a good ride and pressure now, keeping Cook flat. Cook's trying to sit out with 30 seconds remaining in period number 2. As the wrestlers hurrying back into the center of the match, Cook getting set, keeping his knees behind the line and his hands in front of that 12-inch. Those 2 lines 12 inches apart. Cook with a tight waist, trapping the right arm, or trying to trap the right arm of Cook, Stroessner that is. And Cook standing up with 10 seconds to go in the second period. And again, out of bounds one more time with just 9 seconds. Now the referee sets him down. Cook attempts to stand up. A counter by Strassner with a tight waist. As the final few seconds of period number 2 are about to expire, there's the buzzer, and we'll be moving to period number 3. It will be Strassner's choice. He's taking the bottom position. He's ahead by 5 points. So Nathan Cook has his work cut out for him in the 3rd period. He's got to make up 5 points. In period number 2, when he had the top position, he rode a tight waist and tried a half Nelson. Again with a tight waist, chopping in the arm, looking for the half Nelson. However, Strassner is able to escape in the 2nd period and get a takedown. Now, there's the half Nelson by Cook. He's got a half Nelson in deep. Strassner rips off the half Nelson. Now Strassner turning in. Cook trying to get a tilt, but no back points awarded. Cook looking for back points. Strassner on the bottom. Now Cook in a sitting position, spinning. And Strassner is spinning. Cook looking for the half Nelson. Now he's got a tight waist near arm pry. With 1 minute to go, the final 1 minute. And Nathan Cook's going to have to score some points here in the 3rd period. Now Cook with a bar arm, looking to run it. He almost got back points. No back points yet, but he's got Cook clearly the aggressor in the 3rd period, but he's got to make up 5 points with 45 seconds to go. Strassner fighting it off, able to avoid being put on his back as the wrestlers are out of bounds with 40 seconds remaining. Terry Strassner with a 5-point margin here, and he's in the bottom position. He averted several near falls. As Nathan Cook again applying pressure, tight waist, looking for a tilt to score some back points. You only have 29 seconds to go. Now a reversal, that nice move by Strassner to get a 2-point reversal to go out 7-0 with just 15 seconds to go. As Cook attempted to go for the near fall points and got out of position, Strassner able to score a reversal. So we're going to wind it down at 119 pounds. Terry Strassner, a 7-0 winner over Danville's Nathan Cook. Strassner boosts his record to 8-2 as he gets a handshake from defender coach Wayne Smythe. We're moving to 125 pounds as the defenders are about ready to send out on the mat Casey McGargle, a freshman. So the team score is Warrior Run 15 and Danville nothing. Out for the Ironman, Jeremy Crick, an 11th grader with a 12-3 record. So this is a freshman, Casey McGargle. He's one of 3 freshmen in the lineup for the defenders as they're out of bounds. No takedowns, back in neutral as Crick back in early. McGargle comes back and gets set. Both wrestlers locked up near the edge of the mat. McGargle looking for a single or double leg takedown, being underneath. Crick is sprawling back, applying pressure to the head of McGargle. Now, McGargle in on a single leg, applying pressure. Very good position, but out of bounds. But for the freshman, that was the right move as he got a single leg and was trying to force it on Jeremy Crick for the Ironman. Now, Crick went in on a half-hearted attempt at a takedown, and McGargle able to sprawl back. 1 minute remaining as they break away. And yet, now McGargle went on trying to double leg, but as Crick sprawls back. As the wrestlers are right in front of us here at Warrior Run High School for this high school wrestling match between the defenders of Warrior Run and the Ironmen of Danville. As both wrestlers right here in front, with McGargle in on a single leg and the edge of the match, and Crick is sprawling back, looking to, with 20 seconds remaining in the first period, a scoreless first period so far, and they're out of bounds. With 15 seconds to go in this first period, it's scoreless so far. McGargle single leg again, pulling it in. He's got Crick up. Crick be able to sprawl back away from it and avoid being taken down. So that's the first scoreless period we've had tonight. And the Warrior Run defender deferred his choice to Jeremy Crick, who he took the bottom position to start period number 2. He's getting set for referee Tim Cook. High school wrestling is 3 2-minute periods. Crick sitting out, turning in. And Casey McGargle on top, riding with a tight waist. Now Crick standing, trying to break away the wrist. Go back to the mat. From this, now Crick trying to step over top. He's able to do so now. He's got McGargle in some trouble. He's got a half Nelson, and there's a 2-point reversal, and he's got back point. So Jeremy Crick able to score some points, and now near fall points for Ironman. 1:23 to go in the first period as Crick just staying there in a near fall position, a half Nelson, trying to keep the shoulders down. Now McGargle pulling back. He gets off that position, 3 near fall points. And now he's going to be in a good position. And he gets a 2-point reversal. Score is 5-2 in favor of Jeremy Crick, who's in the bottom position, but he's ahead with 50 seconds to go. Now McGargle puts in the cross body lie. And now he's going to be back toward his back, but he turned back in to avoid a near fall point being assessed against him. He's got a 3-point lead with 36 seconds to go. And there Crick pulling over the head. He's got McGargle in trouble, although McGargle's still in control. And no back points awarded there. No back points awarded, but McGargle was way in trouble. Let's see what the referee's going to say here. As technically, Crick is still in the bottom position, although boys appear to be facing each other. And the buzzer goes off. But no points awarded for all that action by Jeremy Crick. And that's going to be a 5-2 lead for Crick going to the third period with McGargle taking the bottom position. So although Casey McGargle was near getting pinned from a defensive position, no points were awarded to Jeremy Crick, so it's 5-2. As Crick on top, McGargle turning in. McGargle looking for the Peterson ride. Looking for the Peterson roll, that is. Unable to get it as Crick rides tight waist and breaks down McGargle. Now, Crick with a tight waist and a near arm bar. As the Ironmen have not been able to win in the first 3 matches tonight. Although now Crick is trying to take McGargle over, looking for the near fall. Referee Tim Cook down looking at it. No near fall points awarded. Although Crick working on the head of McGargle now. Crick is getting high and McGargle's trying to come out. With 1 minute and 10 seconds to go, we've got a full house at Warrior Run High School in this big rivalry between 2 real good wrestling schools. Now let's see, we've got Crick still in control with under a minute to go in the final period. Crick ahead by 3 points, although McGargle looks like to be in a good position to get a reversal. Crick hanging on. McGargle trying to go for the reversal as long as he's locked up that leg, or he's got his hands through the crotch trying to lock up. He's still be given control. As you can see, the hands locked. Now the hands are broken. Now there's the reversal. 30 seconds to go. McGargle's only trailing by 1 point. Wayne Smythe for the defenders says, let him up. It's a 6-4. A takedown will tie it. A takedown will tie it with 18 seconds to go. And the fans are cheering. They want McGargle to go in. He's getting on a single leg. They're out of bounds with 5 seconds to go as Casey McGargle in on a single leg, but they went out of bounds. 5 seconds to go. McGargle trailing by 2. 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's going to be Jeremy Crick for the Ironman, a 6-4 winner. A really competitive bout between two good wrestlers. Crick wins it 6-4. And the Ironmen go on the scoreboard with 3 team points. A decision is 3 team points in high school wrestling. A pin is 6. A major decision, which is a decision by 8 or more individual points, is a 4-point team point award. And a technical fall, which is a 15-point advantage, is 5 points. As we go to 130 pounds, this is Matt Harrison for the Ironman. He's a junior with a 9-6 record against Todd Miller, who's a junior for the Defenders. So a real exciting match there at 125 pounds. Jeremy Crick able to hang on for a 6-4 win. Now, Miller in on a single leg or double leg, but Harrison sprawls. Harrison goes in on a double leg, and Miller sprawls. Now, Miller able to work the head of Harrison, goes in on a single leg. Harrison on the top position with a crossface as Miller hanging on to a single leg with his hands locked. Harrison on top for the Ironman, trying to come around behind for a 2-point takedown. Very close. If Harrison can break free and go behind, he'll get the takedown. There it is, 2 points for Matt Harrison of the Ironman, as the Ironmen are ahead 2-0 in this bout with 1 minute to go in period number 1. Now Miller's able to get an escape as he sat out, turned in, and they came out even neutral, so 2-1. Under a minute to go as both wrestlers locked head-to-head. For the Ironman, that Matt Harrison had the first takedown in the first. Now there's a 2-point takedown for Harrison on the edge of the mat with 33 seconds to go. So Harrison, 2 first period takedowns against Todd Miller for the Defenders. Harrison on top, gets the tight waist, now throws in a cross-body ride as Miller rolls. The key here for Harrison is try and apply pressure to the head of Todd Miller and to keep his hips in control over Miller. Right now he's in good position, but has a tendency to get high, as that's exactly what's going on, as Miller trying to come out from behind. Now there Harrison goes back. And the first period is over with Matt Harrison of Danville with a 4-1 lead over Warrior Run's Todd Miller. Now Miller, he takes the bottom position to start the second period. He gets set. Referee Tim Cook looks, has Harrison come back on, and they start the action. Harrison with a tight waist, chopping in the left arm at the elbow. Miller trying to sit out. Harrison trying to pull him in. As Miller trying to get his hips up over Harrison to get Harrison high, but Harrison able to stay back and stop that move of Todd Miller. Now Harrison riding a 2-on-1, but now going to a far side half. Miller coming underneath. Harrison still driving in, keeping control. Harrison still on control, though his head's inside. We wrestled 1 minute here in the second period as Danville's Matt Harrison 4-1 lead. So Now Harrison's going to be in a little bit of trouble as Miller looking for a reversal, but he's still in the controlling position, although he's working on the head of Harrison. Now Harrison trying to drive through with control. And the referee is going to call a stalemate as neither wrestler could advance their positions. So Harrison able to ride out Miller for 1 minute and 31 seconds here in the second period at 130 pounds. Now Miller sitting out. Harrison was looking for a cradle. Didn't get it, but he's got Miller back down on his stomach. Now Harrison with a cross body ride. Now coming up under, and he's got Miller flat on his belly again, under 10 seconds to go in the second period. A strong period for Matt Harrison of the Ironman. And that'll do it for period number 2 as we go to the final 2 minutes. With Matt Harrison, he's got his choice. He's going to take the bottom defensive position. And he'll try not to do anything to get himself in a dangerous near-fall position as he's got a 3-point lead. Now he's standing up, trying to switch. He's working on a switch. Now goes to a single leg, switches to a double. And he's going to have Todd Miller in trouble as there's the reversal for Danville's Matt Harrison. He's up 6-1. Now working on a half Nelson. He's got Miller on his side running the half Nelson. As Harrison applied the half Nelson in the near arm bar. Still got the half Nelson in, keeping the head of Miller down. We've got 1 minute and 17 to go. Matt Harrison on top here of Warrior Run's Todd Miller. Now Miller trying to come out from behind. Harrison trying to keep his arms underneath the arms of Miller to keep control, but they're going to call a potentially dangerous hold. And refereeing in wrestling is a sport where protection of the wrestler comes first, and so that was a potentially dangerous. The referee stopped him, sets him back, and then referee's position with Todd Miller for the defenders in the bottom position. He's getting set. As we said earlier in tonight's broadcast, these are 2 veteran coaches for both teams. Ron Kanaski for the Ironman in his 22nd year with 324 career wins, 104 losses, and 2 ties. For the defenders of Warrior Run, Wayne Smythe, 21 years, 192 wins, 145 losses, and I believe 8 ties. So 2 wrestlers with over 500 wins, 2 coaches with over 500 career wins between them. Kanaski was put into the Pennsylvania Wrestlers Hall of Fame last year for all his accomplishments. And Matt Harrison here at 130 pounds with 44 seconds to go in control, 6-1, looking for back points, near fall points. As now Miller coming around, and he gets a reversal, 6-3. So Miller now needs to go for back points, and he's looking for a cradle. 25 seconds to go as Todd Miller down by 3 points needs a 3-point near fall to knot this match up. Matt Harrison content to stay there and avoid a dangerous situation with 12 seconds remaining. And Matt Harrison just going to sit there. Now he's reaching back. Got to be careful on that with the final seconds ticking away at 1:30. Danville wins. Matt Harrison gets his hand raised by the referee, and he is a 6-3 winner. We'll be back for more wrestling action after these announcements.
It's a car born of intelligent engineering. It's responsive, innovative, refined. It's a driver's side airbag and anti-lock brakes. Introducing the all-new 88 Royale LS. Oldsmobile. The power of intelligent engineering.
Check out our wide selection of Oldsmobiles here at Hawkins Chevrolet, where friends meet friends.
Come to the Watson Inn in downtown Watsontown for a truly wonderful dining experience. The Watson Inn is a full-service hotel open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The large menu features steaks and seafood. Relax with friends at the Watson Inn at their full-service bar, open daily at 11 a.m. Having a banquet, the Watson Inn has a beautiful banquet facility for groups as large as 180 people. Plus, the hotel features 32 comfortable guest rooms. Experience the Watson Inn today, located at 100 Main Street, Watsontown.
Welcome to the Dutch Pantry in Danville. Come and celebrate our 20th anniversary. Our senior citizens menu is an added feature along with our famous ham and bean soup. Courteous customer service and a relaxed atmosphere enhances your dining experience. Browse through and admire our gift shop. Handmade Christmas items and Amish dolls are a few of the gift items to choose from. The next time you get together with your family, take them to the Dutch Pantry, located at exit 33 off I-80 and Route 54 in Danville.
Now we're back at 135 pounds for the defenders, and their outstanding wrestler, he's a senior, Craig Nitchie. He's going against Danville's Mark Leitzel. If Nitchie wins tonight, it will be his 100th career victory, a landmark for any wrestler. So Craig Nitchie for the defenders, a regional champion last year, 8-1 this year against Danville's Mark Leitzel at 135. Nitchie, in addition to having 99 wins, has 50 pins in 99 matches. So he's a real pinner, and there he is on a takedown, and they're a little dangerous. Let's see if they're going to give him. There was no takedown, so they're still in neutral position, although it looked good enough from this vantage point. So Mark Leitzel from Danville has his hands full with this outstanding defender wrestler. Nitchie's only loss this year was to Biff Walliser of Baldwin Nittany, who's the defending state champion. So there, Nitchie takes Leitzel right to his back, applying pressure right from the takedown position. 1 minute to go. As he runs it real hard, half Nelson applying a body press, pressing the shoulders down. 59 seconds. Leitzel trying to come back, rocking from side to side to avoid getting the near fall, the pin. Now Leitzel still down as Nitchie changes sides. He's in a headlock position. He's arching back, putting the weight on the shoulders of Leitzel. As Craig Nitchie is trying to go for his 100th career win and 51st pin, 35 seconds to go in the first period. Again, Mark Leitzel down, being headlocked by Craig Nitchie, who's ahead at least 2-0. As Nitchie tightens it up, and there it is! There's the fall. At 1 minute and 37 seconds of the first period, that's win number 100 for Craig Nitchie.
These are the legends.
Ask the question, ask the question.
The lovers. The voyagers. These are the dreamers, the seekers, and the storytellers. This is the passion and the power. This is the best time for you to get it all. So call now for HBO, because it could only happen here. HBO. What a year it's going to be.
Wrestlers locked up head-to-head with 1:47 to go in period number 1, with the defenders winning this dual meet 21-6 over the Ironman. And they're out of bounds on the near side. Back in they go. Andy Gemberling, 9-1. A little taller than Mark Weeder. Weeder now on the top position, looking to spin around. That's Gemberling underneath. Gemberling in on a single leg now. He's got Weeder up in the air, hopping on his left leg. No chain control. Wrestlers in a neutral position. 1:16 to go in period number 1 as Gemberling tried to reach up to the head, pulling the leg back in, keeping Weeder in bounds. Weeder hopping on his left leg. As Gemberling trying to keep Weeder in bounds. Now switching positions. As Gemberling keeps that right leg. And they're up again, both wrestlers, so out of bounds, no control. With 46 seconds to go between these two once-beaten wrestlers. Now, Weeder in, but out of bounds. Weeder in on trying to do a barrel roll. They had a good position, but they went out of bounds right in front of us. They're back neutral with 37 seconds to go. A scoreless first period under 20 seconds. Now Weeder in, and he goes around, a 2-point takedown. He's ahead, 2-0, and they're out of bounds. Back in with 14 seconds to go is Mark Weeder able to get that takedown. And he'll try and keep Andy Gemmerling under control here in the final 14 seconds of the first period. Tight waist, near arm chop. Weeder with a tight waist, squeezing very hard. Danville wrestlers like that tight waist near arm. And that'll do it for the first period. Mark Weeder from Danville with a 2-0 lead. He'll be his choice. And he's going to take the bottom position for the second period. Andy Gemmerling on top. He will wrestle from, he'll set himself up on Weeder's right side, hand around the waist, and they start. Now Gemmerling with a tight waist near arm. Weeder trying to get up. He's down on his knees, down his belly, brings his knees up, now standing, trying to break away. And they're out of bounds. They'll go back into the referee's position. Weeder down, but winning in the match, 2-0. Now this time, Gemmerling set up on the other side as Weeder spinning around, sitting in, now trying to get free, back down on the mat. As Andy Gemmerling doing a good job of riding here in the first 40 seconds of this second period over with Mark Weeder of Danville on the bottom position. Coach Ron Kanaski telling his wrestler to get up off the mat. Now Weeder coming around, and gets a reversal, so he's got a 4-0 lead. Now sitting, looking for a half Nelson is Mark Weeder. Half Nelson from the right side, applying pressure. We've seen the Ironman do this a lot, looking for a half Nelson from side to side. Now he's trying to tilt Andy Gemmerling. With 33 seconds to go in the second period, with Mark Weeder in control and a 4-0 lead. Tight waist, and he pulls Andy Gemmerling down to the match. Now a bar arm tight waist, as he's got Gemmerling on his belly. Mark Weeder, who went to states last year as a sophomore, one of the team leaders for the Ironman. Now Gemmerling may be out for an escape with 5 seconds to go. We've seen no change. There's a 1-point escape right at the buzzer for Andy Gemmerling. So it's a 4-1 lead as they go to the third period. And Gemmerling's choice for the third period, he is in the bottom position. For the final 2 minutes, Mark Weeder, a 3-point lead, and he will be on the top position. So we'll see how the conditioning of both wrestlers is as we go this final 2 minutes. Weeder, of course, is a well-conditioned athlete, very well built, very muscular at 140 pounds. Gemmerling, very similar as well. Two good wrestlers, no doubt about it. We'll see a lot of them at the end of the year in the sectional, district, and regional tournament, as no change of control after 10 seconds. Gemmerling down, getting set. Now, Weeder on top. The referee starts him. Tight waist. And as Gemmerling able to stand now, Weeder trying to trip him. They go over to the far side of the mat. He trips him down. Weeder with a tight waist. As Gemmerling trying to arch back, he's got the knee. He's trying to, he does. He gets the reversal. He just spun over top. And he's got a Navy ride on Mark Weeder. With 1:22 to go in the third period, Andy Gemberling comes back to trails now 4-3 over Mark Weeder. The Ironmen coming into tonight's action, 11-3-1. They lost their last two dual meets to an outstanding Line Mountain team and then to a very competitive Benton team after beating Southern Columbia. The defenders, on the other hand, beat Lewisburg and Berwick this past week. They beat Berwick by a 38-21 margin. As Mark Weeder gets his shoe tied, he's down. I have a feeling that if Gemberling's not able to turn Weeder or for near fall points, he'll allow him to escape and then go for the takedown to tie it up and send it into overtime. So it's 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. Mark Weeder looking for probably a reversal here. And Gemberling went for a chin back, but Weeder able to spin out, and we're going to have an escape. And then Gemberling with a takedown. It's tied up with 49 seconds to go. It's all tied up. 49 seconds to go. Now Weeder standing up, and he escapes. It's 6-5. Mark Weeder of Danville. A takedown will be the deciding one. If Andy Gemberling gets it, he'll go ahead. If Mark Weeder gets it, he'll have a 3-point lead. We're under 30 seconds to go as they're out of bounds. Weeder can't afford to be too defensive to Andy Gemberling. He's got to wrestle tight. Now a nice move by Andy Gemberling for the takedown with 20 seconds to go. Now Weeder has to escape. Weeder standing up. Gemberling out of bounds with 10 seconds to go. Andy Gemberling coming back. Andy Gemberling coming back with two third-period takedowns. He's ahead 7-6 with 10 seconds to go. And he'll be on the top position. Weeder needs an escape to tie it up and go into overtime. Weeder tries to stand up. Just 5 seconds, Weeder trying to stand up. A very exciting match. And that crowd noise will tell you the winner. Andy Gemberling comes back for a 7-6 win with two takedowns in the third period, as he was trailing at one point 4-1 as we move to 145 pounds for the Ironman. That's Aaron Gers. For the defenders, Todd Leidecker, a sophomore, 2-0, or a freshman, 2-0. The Warrior Run lead goes to 24-6. We're at 145 pounds. Aaron Gers out there for the Ironman with a record of 9-6. Both wrestlers in the neutral position, and they're out of bounds with 1:32 to go. So we wrestled 7 bouts in this 13-bout dual meet, as now Aaron Gersten on a single leg, lifting up Leidecker, trying to get the takedown, trying to do the trip. Leidecker defending it. Gerst working up on the leg. Leidecker trying to keep control, keep from being taken down now, trying to avoid the trip with 1 minute to go in the first period. Aaron Gerst. And Todd Leidecker, some good wrestling, a good takedown attempts and counters. Leidecker able to get out of bounds and avoid being taken down. Wrestlers both in the center of the mat. Leidecker reaching in, Gerst countering. Now Leidecker in on a single leg, reaching up, now goes to a double leg. And he has Gerst down for a takedown. At 145 pounds, that's freshman Todd Leidecker with a 2-0 lead. A little contact lens problem, it looks like, for him, as he's going to settle in the top position. He just got in the lineup after the new year with a pin at Lewisburg in his first varsity debut, and then a win over the Berwick Bulldogs most recently for his 2-0 win as they're out of bounds. 18 seconds to go. Aaron Gerst trots in the center of the mat. He's going to be down. And they're going to call injury time, as I think there's a lost contact here. So the wrestlers are ready to go after Todd Leidecker had a little contact lens problem. Aaron Gerst down in the defensive position. Leidecker on top. Gerst immediately stands, trying to break three. Leidecker takes him back down. Gerst up again, or trying up again. And they're out of bounds. 8 seconds as Gerst again back to the center of the mat. He's up again. And that's the end of the first period for Todd Leidecker with a 2-0 lead, and he will have his choice, but he defers that choice to Aaron Gerst, who's going to take the defensive position for the second period. Gerst, in that first period, when he was in the defensive position, tried a lot of stand-ups, but Todd Leidecker able to control. Gerst up again. Leidecker trying to hold him. Very close to an escape. They're in a neutral position, and Gerst will one-point escape. So it's 2-1 in favor of Todd Leidecker as the wrestlers are in a neutral position, and they go into the center of the mat. Leidecker in, trying a single leg. Gerst sprawls back, keeps control of the head. Now there is Leidecker in on a single and a double to it. He's got a Navy ride looking for a half Nelson. He's got the half Nelson in with 1:22 to go. He's got Gerst on his back for a near fall, working on a body press now. Very close to a pin, very close for Todd Leidecker. With 1:09 to go, Todd Leidecker has Aaron Gerst in deep trouble, and there it is. Todd Leidecker gets a fall for the defenders in 1 minute and 4 seconds of the second period, and that team score is going to be Warrior Run 30 and the Ironmen of Danville 6 at 1:52. Out there for the defenders, Joey Hill. He's 8-1, a senior for the defenders, and he's going to go against Ryan Betts, who's a junior, 9-6. Joey Hill, an outstanding wrestler, lost his first match to a very good Ryan Mason from Berwick most recently. Hill, very well built, very muscular. And Betts is a little lanky wrestler for 152 pounds. As Hill tries to press the head down of Ryan Betts to break away and come back neutral. Now Betts tries a shot, but Hill sneaks around and they break free out of bounds with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go, and it's a scoreless first period at 152 pounds. Now Hill's got a single leg lifting up, tries the back trip, no takedown. He picks it up again, tries to keep Betts in the middle, and he pulls Betts back in, and there's the takedown for Joey Hill. Now a 1-point escape for Ryan Betts as he goes back in the center. 2-1 with 43 seconds to go. As Betts is doing a lot of reaching. And if he does, I think there's Hill trying to go underneath on a double leg. Betts sprawling back, able to avoid anything, and they're out of bounds on the far side with 29 seconds to go. 2-1 in favor of Joey Hill. The defenders have 4 falls out of the matches wrestled so far this evening, and 2 decisions. The Ironmen have 2 decisions in their favor. And period number 1 is over. It's a 2-1 lead for Joey Hill. And Betts has his choice in the second period. He's going to take the bottom position, trying to score reversals or escapes to tie this up or take the lead. Joey Hill riding the tight waist, tying up the left arm of Betts, keeping his hips in control. Now Betts sits out, turns in, and Joey Hill follows him. Now, Hill really applying pressure to the head. He's got Betts tilting over. He's working over into a near fall position. He's got Ryan Betts over in a near fall. Betts able to get back to his stomach, but not before Joey Hill gets 3 near fall points. That's a 5-1 lead for Joey Hill. 1:22 to go in the second period. Now tight waist by Joey Hill. He lets up Ryan Betts. He lets him up, allows him to escape. It's 5-2. 1 minute remaining. We're halfway through this bout at 152 pounds. Joey Hill ahead 5-2. Now the referee is going to call stalling for Ryan Betts as Betts was backing off. So he's been warned for stalling as they go back in. Betts being a little too defensive, but he'd been taken down once. Now he's in on a single leg, lifting it up. And they're out of bounds. So Ryan Betts trailing by 3 with 39 seconds to go, period number 2. As we look at this really intensive rivalry between these two schools, they've wrestled 27 times going into the night's bout. The Ironmen have won 14, the Defenders 13. So this is a real fierce rivalry between these two very competitive wrestling schools. Now Joey Hill with another takedown. That's going to be 7-2 with 10 seconds to go. As Joey Hill very much in control in the final seconds. And he scores 5 points in that period, so he's got 7-2 lead as period number 3 is about to start with Joey Hill in the bottom position. The Defenders have won the last 3 bouts, or 3 dual meets, excuse me, going into the night. In 89-90, they won 42-21. 2 years ago, 39-22. Last year, 53-12, and they're here tonight ahead 30-6. But before that, the Ironmen had a streak of winning 7 out of 8. Betts still in control as Hill stands. He's trying to trip Hill down, but Hill turns in and escapes. 8-2 for Joey Hill as their neutral. So in 27 years of wrestling, it's virtually even between these two wrestling schools. Now there's an attempt at a headlock by Hill, but he was in trouble and just spun out. He slipped on the headlock. So they're still neutral with 1:25 to go. Now Hill and Betts still neutral. Hill in on a double leg, just tackles Betts, takes him down 10-2. Now works up the body. Under a minute to go in the third period. As Hill coming up with the body, pressing down the head now. Riding under the arms. Looking for a 3/4 Nelson, applying pressure to the head. Very much in control here in the final 2 minutes. Just under 30 seconds remaining at 152 pounds. Joey Hill with a 8-point margin. If he maintains this, he'll have a 4-point team win for his Defenders. Now trying to tilt, Betts on his side, looking for near fall points. There's one near fall count. There's the second one. Now near fall points being counted off. As the referee looking very close down there, but Betts able to keep one shoulder up. off the match to avoid the pin in the final 3 seconds. Joey Hill going to be a 13-2 winner. And the defenders increased their lead to 34-6. So we moved 160 pounds. That's Andy Kaiser, a senior with a 6-2 record against Chris Coombe for the Ironman. As Kaiser right in on a 2-point takedown, a barrel roll, and now Coombe standing. So in the first 5 seconds, as they went off the edge of the mat, almost out of bounds and off the mat, Andy Kaiser, 2-0 lead on a barrel roll right into a takedown. Coombe is down. Now, Coombe tries to stand up. Kaiser picks up the ankle. Now comes up to a tight waist. Coombe, the taller of the two wrestlers, but Kaiser very well built. In the preseason, many of the wrestling coaches in the Central Susquehanna Conference thought the defenders would be a very good team, the team to beat in the conference. And I think they're proving that here tonight with a 34-6 lead after 9 bouts as we go to 160 pounds and their wrestler, Andy Kaiser, leading 2-0. It may well come down to the dual meet between the Central Columbia Blue Jays and the defenders of Warrior Run to decide the conference championship, as both teams, lots of talent this year. We've wrestled 1 minute now at 160 pounds that's Andy Kaiser on top, working on Chris Coombe, keeping Coombe down on the mat. Coombe trying to bring his knees up, trying to get to his base to move. Kaiser working on the wrist, keeping the control of the wrist now. Coombe's trying to stand up. With 40 seconds remaining, Coombe trying to stand up. And they're out of bounds with no change in control at the 33-second mark, or 33 seconds remaining at 160 pounds. As Coombe gets set on the mat, Kaiser on top. Coombe immediately stands up this time. He breaks free. It's a 2-1 margin for Andy Kaiser, as Coombe able to escape on a stand-up. Kaiser took Coombe right down, but now Coombe's going to go around, and he's got a 2-point takedown, so Coombe takes the lead here, 3-2, and he's got a tight waist and a right arm chop with 7 seconds remaining, so Coombe able to come back strong in the waning seconds of the first period to take a 3-2 lead into period number 2. Coombe has his choice. He takes down. So he'll be looking for escapes and takedowns. He was able to do that in the first period, as he was down 2-0 early in the first 5 seconds, but came back with an escape and takedown to take a 3-2 lead. He was able to escape by going to a stand-up, and he's now on his belly, and that's where Andy Kaiser wants to keep him. Kaiser covering the hips of Coombe, Coombe working up his knees, trying to get to his base. Coombe's best wrestling would be from a standing position, as he's a tall, lean wrestler. Kaiser, very well built, stocky wrestler at 160 pounds. 30 seconds have gone by with Andy Kaiser still riding out and controlling Chris Coombe. Now we're going to see the referee looking down. He's going to give Warrior Run's Andy Kaiser a warning for stalling, not moving up the body looking for a pin. So that's an offensive stalling, and he was not looking for anything but just riding, and he's got to do something to be aggressive, pick up the pace, and he was warned if he gets another time, it'll be a point to Chris Coombe. Now Kaiser allows Coombe to escape, so that's a 4-2 lead for Coombe. So Coombe ahead by 2 as their neutral, as Kaiser allowed him to mistake. Now Kaiser in on a single leg. Coombe countering. Kaiser in. And they're out of bounds. Coombe in deep, but Kaiser able to go for a wrist, a neck pry, taking him down, but They're still neutral, 53 seconds to go. A nice counter by Chris Coombe from a dangerous position. He was very much in danger of being taken down, which would have tied the bout up. So, Coombe in the middle of the match, Kaiser trying to sweep in. Coombe looking for an ankle pick. As they're on the far side of the match, they dance out of bounds. 34 seconds to go for Chris Coombe and Andy Kaiser at 160 pounds. Now a little slapping going on out there between both wrestlers. They're both sparring for position. 20 seconds remaining here in the second period. Coombe ahead by 2. Neither wrestler made a serious attempt at a takedown here in this last minute, and Kaiser had been warned for stalling. Now they're on the edge of the mat with 3 seconds to go. And that's the end of the second period. So Chris Coombe able to move his advantage to 4-2, but Kaiser's going to be down in the defensive position, looking to reverse the action with in the remaining 2 minutes. Coombe was going to set up on the Kaiser's right side here. On the second, he did a tight waist when he was in control, and he takes Kaiser down. He's got a tight waist on and chopping in the near arm, out of bounds. Coombe's strength from the top position is that tight waist, near arm ride. Now Kaiser standing, working on the hands. Coombe trying to stay behind. But Kaiser in very good position, although he's not in a reversal yet. He's got the Peterson. But Coombe working on the head, keeping pressure on the head. That's keeping control. Still Chris Coombe in control for Danville, but Peterson looking for Andy Kaiser looking for the Peterson. Coombe in control, looking for back points, but Kaiser is about ready to come out on a reversal. He knots the score up at 4 apiece. Now he's going to allow Coombe to escape. That gives Coombe a 5-4 lead with 1 minute to go. So Coombe ahead 5-4. They're standing neutral. We're under a minute as Danville's Chris Coombe clinging to a 1-point edge, 5-4 over Andy Kaiser. Kaiser able to get a reversal tied up. He allows Coombe to escape, and he's looking for that takedown to give him the win. 40 seconds to go. Near out of bounds. They're not out of bounds. Kaiser with a takedown, right on the edge. Now back point. So Andy Kaiser able to do his scoring on the edge of the match. He's got 3 near fall points in the bank. 25 seconds to go for Andy Kaiser. Coombe taken down right at the edge of the match as Kaiser now applying pressure, looking for a near fall going to a pin with 10 seconds to go. He's had 6-5, but he's got 3 near fall points. And they're real close to the edge of the mat. And that's going to do it for Andy Kaiser, coming back with 5 points in the waning seconds of the match to take a 9-6 win over Danville's Chris Coombe. Coombe ahead 5-4, but a takedown in near fall right on the edge of the mat gives Andy Kaiser the win, 9-6, as we're out at 171 pounds. Keith Milks for the Ironman. Brian Hunter, who's a senior for Warrior Run. Hunter got a very good, solid 8-2 record. Keith Milks for Danville is at 13-2. So we have a caution on Milks for not being properly set on the line, and now a caution on Brian Hunter for not being properly set. So Keith Milks for the Ironman with a 13-2 record. He's got his leg up in the air, held by Brian Hunter. Hunter applying pressure, pressing Milks down to the mat. Milks with a whizzer in, still neutral. neutral position as Milk's able to get out of bounds to avoid the takedown. But Hunter in real good position on that takedown. Now, Hunter weighed in at 160 pounds, although he's here at 171 pounds. So I think Milks does have some weight advantage, but Hunter, a real lanky wrestler, real tall and thin. A little unorthodox in his stance from the neutral position. Milks with his back to us on the camera as they're tied up head-to-head with 46 seconds to go. And out of bounds one more time. Now Hunter goes in. Milks tries to sprawl him down. Milks working on the head. Milks likes to get in this position to do what's called an over and under. But they're still tied up, head to head. Under 20 seconds here in the first period at 171 pounds. As the Warrior Run Defender fans very enthused about their 37-6 win. Now, we have an illegal hold. 1 point is awarded to Keith Milks. An illegal hold by Brian Hunter from that position. So Milks has a 1-0 lead. As a technical violation, an illegal hold is called against Brian Hunter at the end of the period. Milks tries to stand, and Hunter goes for an ankle pick, out of bounds, and they go back in. So Milks settling down again. Hunter on top. Hunter reaches back for the right ankle and tight waist. Milks trying to sit in. Now Hunter with a tight waist. Milks sits down and does a reversal on the switch. So he's got control and a 3-0 lead with 1:41 to go as Keith Milks does the switch. Now it's Hunter's turn to be in the bottom position. Milks on top. Milks with a tight waist, near arm chop. And Coach Ron Kanaski for the Ironman telling Milks to keep Brian Hunter's legs covered, to keep control and to keep the hips in tight. Now, Hunter able to get to a sitting position, trying to turn in. Milks working on the head. Milks with a tight waist. And Milks in control with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go. Milks applying pressure to the head of Hunter. Milks with a 3-point lead now. Milks looking for a half Nelson. Hunter trying to get up to his knees. There's a spin by Hunter, and he's going to be in a very good position, although no change in reversal. Now, Milks just rolls him back over and keeps control. 41 seconds to go as Keith Milks rolled Hunter back over and goes behind, covers the legs. Now, Milks keeping the hips controlled here with 30 seconds remaining in this second period. Milks trying. There's going to be a timeout is called because the headgear of Keith Milks has a problem. It came down over his eye. And we're ready to go again. Milks settling in on top. And he's got a tight waist. Chops the arm as Brian Hunter tries to sit out. Now Hunter trying to stand. Milks trying to trip him down. 9 seconds remaining. And a potentially dangerous call as Milks went up to try a cradle. Coach Wayne Smythe for the defenders exhorting his wrestler, Brian Hunter, to get out and get some points this period. Just 5 seconds to go. Now, Hunter sits and turns in, but Milks in control as that period comes to an end. And Hunter will have his choice, and he's taking down in period number 3. He's down by 3 points. Now, back at 160 pounds, Andy Kaiser was down after 2 periods, and he came back, and I believe at 140 pounds, Andy Gemberling was down by a 4-1 margin and did well in the 3rd period. So 2 wrestlers for the defenders were in the 3rd period losing, but came out on top in exciting wrestling. So Keith Milks here has 2 minutes to go with a 3-0 lead, and he's on the top position, riding hard. Now the Warrior Run fans are going to be looking for stalling calls. They'll want Tim Cook to call stalling if they don't think. Now there it is. There's the warning for stalling, as Tim Cook doesn't think Keith Milks is looking for that pin. And because of that, he has warned Milks for stalling. If another stalling occurs, that will be 1 point awarded to Cook. 1:38 remaining. Cook standing up. Milks trying to trip, tight waist, ankle pick. Now Milks works up the body, trying to tilt back Hunter on the edge of the mat, and they're going to be very close to out of bounds. 1:22 remaining. And Milks is in control on the far side of the mat, very close to the edge of the mat, and they're going to be out of bounds. There he goes right to it, right on the ankle, tight waist, 5 seconds. And he's going to win this match by a 3-1 margin. Keith Milks wins the 3rd bout for the Ironman tonight. And that's going to make the team score Danville 9 and the defenders 37. Keith Milks a 3-1 winner at 171. As we move to 189 pounds, Howie Weaver for the Ironman, 11-4 versus Josh Leach. Leach a senior, Weaver a senior. Howie Weaver picks up Leach right in the air, takes him right down, right to his back, but no back points. Howie Weaver, 2-point takedown. So Howie Weaver riding tight waist, chopping in the near arm. And he rolled Leach right over, but out of bounds. Now Weaver with the tight waist, chops in the arm, covers the hips. Weaver, a very solid or stocky wrestler. Now he has a cradle in. He took a cradle. He's got a cradle in. He's trying to pull Leach back. Leach on the hand, trying to break the cradle. 1 minute to go. He's going to try and roll him over, and he does. So Howie Weaver got some nice position here. On a cradle, he's got Josh Leach in trouble. He's got 3 near fall points. 48 seconds to go in the 1st period. Howie Weaver for the Ironman with the cradle on Josh Leach at 189 pounds. So he's just going to sit there and squeeze and try and drain the energy out of Josh Leach. Leach will be expending a lot of energy on his back as Howie Weaver's got the cradle in and just putting a knee into the side, trying to leg down. Now the cradle is broken and they go back with 3 near fall points for Howie Weaver. Now, a tight waist by Weaver again, chops in the near arm. Right in front of us here at Warrior Run High School as the 1st period ends with Howie Weaver ahead. Now Howie Weaver sits, rolls, comes to a neutral point, and he's got an escape right off the bat here in 2nd period, a 6-0 lead for Howie Weaver. So the defenders, some outstanding wrestlers. Now Howie Weaver with a cradle and a takedown. He has Josh Leach in some trouble again. He's applying pressure, trying to arch back. He's got a near fall in. The cradle still in as Howie Weaver stacking up Josh Leach, and there it is. There's the Ironman's fall. 44 seconds of the 2nd period. So the Ironman get their first fall of the evening after Warrior Run defenders had already picked up 4. Howie Weaver gets his hand raised. Moving to the final bout on this 13-bout match between the defenders and the Ironmen. That's sophomore Ken Hamp for the Ironmen and senior Aaron Lehau for the defenders, or for the Ironmen. I'm sorry, Ken Hamp for the defenders. Hamp, a sophomore, 8-2. Aaron Lehau, a senior, 10-5. Hamp has some good wrestling moves for a sophomore, a heavyweight. As both wrestlers just sparring up and locking up. And no takedown there. Hamp, a nice spin as he pushed Lehau down. They spun around, but they were out of bounds. So no takedown, no control. Again, the wrestlers locked head-to-head. Lehau looking for a headlock. Hamp coming up for a bear hug. Hamp in good position now, controlling the head of Lehau. Lehau breaks free, but now a bear hug again by Hamp. And they're out of bounds one more time. 1:07 remaining. So it looks like this great rivalry between the defenders and the Ironmen, after 28 years of wrestling, it'll be all tied up as each high school getting 14 wins. The defenders will have gotten the last 4 wins in a row. Now, Hamp again in a good position as he's controlling the head of Lehau. 49 seconds remaining first period. As this capacity crowd from Warrior Run High School, very pleased with their defenders who, on the year, pushed their dual meet record with this win tonight to 7 wins, no losses. The Ironmen will be 11-4-1. And there Hamp takes Lehau over, right back, good position, and very close. And there's the fall at 1 minute and 25 seconds. Of that first period. Ken Hamp a winner for the defenders. That final team score after that heavyweight pin, the defenders of Warrior Run 43, the Ironmen will be at 15. We'll be back for a wrap-up after these announcements. We're here at Warrior Run High School for the night's wrestling wrap-up, where the defenders of Warrior Run were able to pin a 43-15 win over the Ironmen of Danville. We're here with Warrior Run's outstanding senior wrestler, Craig Nitschke. Craig, you won your 100th win tonight. How does it feel?
Feels good to get it over, get on with some more wins.
Now, you were a regional champion last year as a junior. I think you had an injury, couldn't make it to states. What's your goal this year?
I want to go to states and wrestle well this year and try to get in the top 3 place winners.
Now, you wrestled here in front of this home crowd tonight, and they gave you a big ovation in the trophy presentation. Got a lot of friends in this Warrior Run crowd.
Yeah, well, I try to please them.
Well, you certainly did that tonight with a real gung-ho pin right off the bat. You took the fella down from Danville, put him right on his back, and squeezed him out, and were able to get the pin. Tell us about that move.
Well, I was in the half, and it slipped off, so I went to a headlock and just locked it up and just got the best of them.
And then you were just waiting for the referee to slap that mat. It was your 51st pin. So out of 100 wins, you got 51 pins. So you're a pretty aggressive wrestler?
Yeah, I try to turn people on top.
So that is outstanding wrestler for Warrior Run, Craig Nitschke, with a presentation here. He's got his trophy presented by the Warrior Run High School for his 100th career win. That final score tonight from Warrior Run High School, the defenders 43, the Ironmen 15. You've been watching high school wrestling on CCN.
When it comes to solid entertainment, cable delivers.
Well, we've been waiting for you. Come on in.
Cable is comedy. Cable is concerts. Cable is a Broadway play. And of course, cable is movies. Classic or contemporary, a silent treasure, or a recent box office smash. With cable, you get the original, unedited, full-length studio release with no interruptions. Original programming, often more adventurous than that of the 3 broadcast networks, is occupying a growing portion of the cable schedule. Cable is programmed for the future with exciting new originals.
Already?
Whether it's an all-new series, new episodes of an old classic, or a made-for-cable movie, original cable programming is grabbing some well-deserved attention and a multitude of awards.
Thank you so much!
But this is only the beginning, as cable's investment in new programs reaches roughly $1 billion a year. Recently, the cable industry adopted aggressive customer service standards to ensure that your cable company provides the attentive, reliable service that you deserve. There's been a revolution in the world of television, the way we watch it and the way we use it. Over the last decade, the cable industry has taken aggressive strides in the quality and diversity of television and has been responsible for growth far beyond what was initially thought possible. Looking to the 90s and beyond, your cable company is committed to the continual development of this powerful medium to make television all that it should be.
These are the legends,
Question, ask the question.
the lovers, the voyagers. These are the dreamers, the seekers, and the storytellers. This is the passion and the power. This is the best time for you to get it all. So call now for HBO, because it could only happen here. HBO, what a year it's going to be.
The future is there. You cared enough to give them life. Now give them the gift of health. It's the law. Now your health insurance covers all your child's vaccinations.
I'm Ellen Casey. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Get the whole series. Boosters, too. See your doctor or go to an immunization clinic. Remember, every doctor's visit is a chance to vaccinate.
Keep a record of your child's vaccinations. It's your child's passport to a healthy life.
Come to the Watson Inn in downtown Watsontown for a truly wonderful dining experience. The Watson Inn is a full-service hotel open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The large menu features steaks and seafood. Relax with friends at the Watson Inn at their full-service bar, open daily at 11 a.m. Having a banquet, the Watson Inn has a beautiful banquet facility for groups as large as 180 people. Plus, the hotel features 32 comfortable guest rooms. Experience the Watson Inn today, located at 100 Main Street, Watsontown.
It's a car born of intelligent engineering. It's responsive, innovative, refined. It's a driver's side airbag and anti-lock brakes. Introducing the all-new 88 Royale LS. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Check out our wide selection of Oldsmobiles here at Hawkins Chevrolet, where friends meet friends.
From Pennsylvania's Senate Democrats, this is Capital Connection, a look at Pennsylvania state government and how it's working today for Pennsylvania's future.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching Capital Connection. If your child became ill, what would you do? You'd probably look for the very best treatment possible and rely on health insurance to pay for it. That is, if you have health insurance, and that's the problem. In Pennsylvania, about 1 million people don't have health insurance. Of that number, 300,000 are under age 18, and of that number, 100,000 are under age 6. We want to change those figures. We'll tell you about a plan to create health insurance for children and explain how we'll pay for it. Plus, a look at how we're trying to immunize more children. We're talking about children's health issues with Senator Bob Mello, who represents Lackawanna County and part of Monroe County in the Senate. He's the Democratic leader. And Senator Roy Offlerbach, who represents the city of Allentown and Lehigh County in the Senate. Gentlemen, thank you both for being with us.
Our pleasure.
True-false question, Senator Mello. First of all, many people may assume that people that do not have health insurance are also unemployed.